All right, today we are diving headfirst into something truly fascinating, Sanatan Dharma. You might know it as the eternal way of life, and it's one of the oldest faiths on the planet. We're going to explore some of its living, breathing traditions and divine mysteries, the kind of stuff that really makes you scratch your head and question what we think we know.
So let me start by asking you a question. What if all those ancient stories, the ones passed down for thousands of years, what if they aren't just myths? What if they're actually pointing to real-life miracles, things that our modern science just can't explain? That's the mindset I want you to have as we look into some absolutely extraordinary things today.
All right, first up, we're diving into mysteries you can, well, almost touch. These are real, physical things, events that happen every single day, but seem to just laugh in the face of the laws of physics. So, our first stop takes us to the legendary Jagannath Temple in Puri, Odisha. Now, this is way more than just some old historic building. People who go there feel it's a place where the divine is like an active, daily presence. And believe it or not, our first mystery starts with the food, the sacred offering they call prasad. Okay, let's step into the temple kitchen. So picture this. Every single day, they cook rice for thousands of people. They do it by stacking 7 clay pots, one on top of the other, and they light a fire only at the very bottom. Now, common sense and, basic physics tells you the bottom pot's going to cook first, right? Of course, but not here. In this temple, the rice in the pot at the very top, the one furthest from the fire, is always the first one to be perfectly cooked. It's wild, and it happens like clockwork every single day. But the mysteries don't stop in the kitchen. Not even close. There's another tradition here that's been going on completely unbroken for an incredible 800 years. I want you to really try and picture this. Every single evening, a priest climbs the massive spire of the temple. We're talking about the height of a 45-story building, and he does it barefoot, all to change the flag at the very top. This has been happening every day, without fail, for more than 800 years. Talk about unwavering devotion. So, we've looked at these physical mysteries, right? Now let's shift gears and talk about something a little different. Encounters with a kind of immense, almost tangible divine energy, a power that's said to be so intense, so overwhelming, that it's just too much for a normal person to handle. In most temples, seeing the deity, what's called darshan, is something you can do pretty much any day. It's a normal part of the experience. But at the Ahobilam Temple in Andhra Pradesh, it's a totally different ballgame. The main deity there, Lord Narasimha, is only brought out for people to see once a year. And the reason why is, well, it's pretty mind-blowing. The belief from the priests and the devotees is that the divine energy coming off the deity is just, it's too much. It's too powerful for an ordinary person to be close to. This is a place where that divine power isn't just an idea. It's treated as a real, tangible, and seriously potent force. This whole idea of an eternal, powerful presence brings us to another story, this time from the Amarnath Cave. The legend goes that this is where Lord Shiva told goddess Parvati the secret to immortality. And, as the story goes, a pair of white pigeons just happened to be listening in. Now, fast forward through the centuries to today. Pilgrims who make the journey to that very cave still report seeing a pair of white pigeons, and they're believed to be the immortal descendants of that original pair. Okay, so we've talked about miracles and raw divine power. Now, let's shift again and look at the wisdom of the gods and how their symbolic roles connect these ancient ideas to some very modern concepts that you might recognize in your own life. So, in Sanatan Dharma, different deities represent different core principles of the universe. Take Lord Shiva, for instance. He represents the power of deep meditation, of that unshakable focus and devotion. But then you have Lord Vishnu, who embodies a totally different kind of power. He's often seen as the great operator, the one who runs the systems of the world. And this is where a really fascinating modern idea comes in. Lord Vishnu, together with his wife, the goddess Lakshmi, who is the goddess of wealth, are sometimes seen as the divine forces behind capital, behind our whole global economic system. The thinking goes that our modern capitalist society, which pretty much revolves around money, is in a way unknowingly paying respect to this ancient idea of a divine operator and the source of wealth. All right, for this last part, let's zoom way out and take a look at the global footprint of Sanatan Dharma, because its influence stretches way, way beyond the borders of India. And honestly, in some ways, that might really surprise you. I mean, you see its legacy in places like the ancient temples of Cambodia, where Lord Vishnu is a huge deal. And you see it in the incredible modern structures being built today.
This faith's legacy is absolutely global. So let me ask you, where do you think the single largest, most modern symbol of this ancient faith is located?
And here is the big reveal. It's not in India. The answer is New Jersey, in the USA. That's right. According to architects and historians, the largest Hindu temple in the world, this incredible modern symbol of Sanatan Dharma, is in the United States. That's a huge statement about just how enduring and how global this faith has become.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? As our world gets smaller and more connected, you have to wonder, how will these ancient stories, these timeless symbols, and these incredible mysteries continue to shape our future? What can these traditions, thousands of years old, still teach us today? It's definitely something worth thinking about.